Welcome to the Boxing Gossip channel, live broadcast on the 26th of December 2017. It's Boxing Day. What else can we do on Boxing Day but bring you some live boxing discussion? If you're new, if you haven't done so before, please take the time to hit the subscribe button. If you're just joining us as we go live, or if you're watching this after it's been uploaded to the channel, please hit the thumbs up button. That will mean we get more people joining live and hopefully seeing what we're doing here. I can see we've got Maz in the chat, so at least one of you on Boxing Day. Shout out to Maz for being the first one in. The observant will notice Brother Gossip has returned. For new viewers, and there's been quite a few new viewers, he is a occasional feature on the channel. We don't live close together these days, so it tends to be birthdays and Christmases. But he is back now. We are going to do a bit of a chop it up on boxing in the last year and what's to come. I can see Maz, Ross, the Wizard, Kamal, and Leon. Kamal, I can't instantly remember that. But I will have a look. Yeah, so thanks for joining, guys. So let's start by bringing in Brother Gossip. It's the end of 2017. And let me start by saying, how would you think about 2017 if you were to look back at it at the end of the year?
Excuse me. It's not been a bad year. I think the highlight fight for money fight was Mayweather-McGregor. Because in a year we had AJ and Vladimir and Canelo, Golovkin at last, for fights that made the most, for fight that got the most attention, the fight that had the most buys was Mayweather-McGregor. Outside of that, I think it's actually been a pretty fine year for boxing.
I'd say it's been the best year of boxing by some way since I started covering it. Crawford and Dongo for the unified light welterweight.
Usyk.
James DeGale versus Badu Jack, the definite #1 at super middleweight fight.
Yeah, which ended in a draw.
Leo Santa Cruz versus Carl Frampton.
Yeah.
You know, what a rematch that was.
Lomachenko versus the world.
Lomachenko versus Rigondo. The World Boxing Super Series. You've got Alexander Usyk, George Groves, you know, all of these names.
There's my first Adam Smith reference.
Yeah, you're getting some comments in the chat. They're pleased to have you back. So we got 28 people watching live. You can see some of the regulars. See Alex has joined. Shout out to Alex, long-time supporter. Yes, you may notice a slightly different scenery today because I've returned to the parents' house for Boxing Day, so you haven't got any wallpaper, but you do have Brother Gossip, so you lose some. So 2017, Triple G Canelo, another one to throw into the mix. Big Joe Saunders Lemieux recently.
Yeah, great fight. Well, great performance.
Yeah, so been a great year. What are you looking for as we look ahead to 2018?
The rematch, Canelo Golovkin. AJ versus at least one of the heavyweight champions. Vasyl Lomachenko to keep winning, dominating the way he does so brilliantly. There's another Superfly card signed for pretty soon, I think, which the last one was fantastic watching. Thought that was great. And I'm very interested in the Boxing Super Series in both weight classes. I think that has potential to produce some really cracking fights, especially cruiserweight. Yeah, so let's start with cruiserweight. 4 guys left.
Usyk, long odds on with the bookmakers.
Yeah.
Agree with that assessment?
Yeah. He's just fantastic, isn't he? He's a very good fighter.
I kind of think with the World Boxing Super Series, I think Usyk looks elite. Bradis looks very good, but not elite. The other two, I'd say, are completely unexposed. We have no idea quite how good they're going to be.
Agreed, yeah.
Do you see Dorticos versus Gassiev being, do you see the winner of that one being a bit more to handle for Usyk than Bradis?
I'm more aware of Gassiev than the other one, but it's just, I mean, Bradis, he's so tidy, he's so skilled.
Bradis?
Not Bradis, sorry.
Usyk. Yeah.
He's very tidy. He's very skilled. He's almost certainly going to jump up to heavyweight once this tournament's over.
Yeah, so you don't see too much to worry, Usyk.
No.
Let's talk to super middleweights. Groves Eubank, early contender for Fight of the Year.
Could well be. A shame in many ways it's not the final. But I'm not entirely sure. I think I probably lean towards Eubank Jr. at the moment.
You lean towards Eubank Jr.?
Yeah.
Talk us through how you see that fight going.
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm repeating everyone that's had an opinion on George Groves, but even though he beat Chudanov, and he just hasn't blown me away with his performances. Not saying Eubank has, but Eubank has looked a lot more dangerous to me and a lot more tidy and a lot more competitive in a lot of his fights, where the fights have actually been competitive. Whereas where Groves just hasn't looked as on form.
Let's talk about styles. For me, Groves potentially vulnerable to that inside fight that Eubank brings. Groves, I think there are some Klitschko similarities. You know, at his best when he's at range, when he's using the jab, when he's able to move, when he's got space.
Yeah.
I think Eubank takes that off him. I also think Groves is the kind of fighter who can be worn down. I know Eubank isn't some crazy one-punch hitter, but
he punches a lot.
You could see Groves after 9 rounds with nothing left.
Yeah.
Eubank looking fresh, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. What about the other one, Smith versus Bramer?
I think I'd head towards Callum Smith based on youth and tidiness. I thought Bramer looked very good in his semi-final or quarter-final. I mean, granted, he beat a relatively easy-to-beat opponent, as it turned out, but Bramer looked very tidy. It was actually a pretty decent performance from Bramer, but I think Smith will be tidier and faster. It's worse comes worse, just pump for jab all night long.
So you think it could be Smith-Eubank in the final?
Yeah.
And any early insight as to who you'd be siding with on that?
Not really. I mean, this is Honda's. Is it the best? That's probably the best Chris Eubank's for.
Oh, I think Groves is better than Smith.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's the best fight that Eubank's had.
What I mean is,
Smith's
if Eubank goes through
Scotland.
Groves, you'd have to pick Eubank to beat Smith if he goes through Groves, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although the option now, the British money foe, James DeGale, is a bit more up in the air now. Afterwards.
Yeah, that one's potentially gone. Let's talk about some of the other fights that have been confirmed for 2018. Lawrence Coley, Isaac Chamberlain. Is that one that's caught your eye?
It has caught my eye. You know, it's been going back and forward now for a little while. You see the names flash up. You see X talked about why. And, you know, I watched the York Hall fights. It was quite interesting seeing and talking the post-match about how he wasn't allowed to say his name anymore if the fight wasn't signed. Not entirely sure it should be a headlining at the O2.
It's going to generate interest, though. I can feel the interest building. David Haye versus Tony Bellew, the rematch. Take on that.
Whatever happens. I'd be very, very surprised if David Haye can't address what he did wrong in the first fight, apart from his Achilles snapping. I still would favour Haye just based on past glory, I suppose. But if he loses again, then his career is over, and you have to start considering Tony Bellew as an elite heavyweight.
Scary thought, hey?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the fights that have not yet been made, but that are likely to be made. Dillian White versus Lucas Brown.
See, I saw Dillian said yesterday, or maybe the day before, that Lucas Brown had priced himself out. He'd agreed a fee and then went up.
The rumblings I'm hearing is that the fight is on.
Yeah, in that case. I favour Dillian. I think he can chop that tree down quite well. Brown will be a good opponent, big puncher, but fairly robotic. I think Dillian will just do what he normally does, keep his head low, march forward, chop away at the body until Brown can't go on.
I don't know. I see Brown as quite durable. Who do you think's got a boxing advantage in that fight?
I'd say Brown because of his height, because he's a big man and he's tall, if memory serves me correct. And Dillian's not a boxer as such. You know, he's not a jab, right cross kind of guy. You know, for body snatch. Yeah. So if it came down to a pure boxing match, like jab for jab would be Lucas Brown, but I don't think that fight will go like that.
What about Joshua Parker? That's a fight that's been on a lot of people's lips recently.
It looks like it's going to be confirmed, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You again on the form, you'd probably have to favour AJ. But Parker will bring an aggression and a ruggedness that Cobbs to Cam didn't bring as much of, which is what people want to see. I think they want to see someone push the pace, drop their head, get in as close as they can, start throwing the big lever. And I think that's Parker's way to win. Like how he did against Huey Fury, and he actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, AJ will be easier to find than Huey Fury, but then at the same time, AJ's got more to offer in offense than Huey Fury, you'd have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your take on AJ's progression post-Klitschko? Obviously, we had the Cam fight. I've been worried about his continued weight gain.
Yeah, likewise.
And I see that as a problem going forward.
Agreed. I think part of it might be a young man's vanity, basically. You know, you can come in so big, so muscly, looking strong, looking like a bodybuilder. And I remember before the Cam fight, was Eddie Hearn said he dropped a stone when he came in at career heaviest.
Exactly, yeah.
I think if he slims down a bit, you know, and works on conditioning, then he could be a very, very, very dangerous force. But it depends. I mean, if you can fight at his pace, then you can fight at his pace, I guess. But 36 minutes in a grueling heavyweight fight is very difficult.
It is, yeah, it is. And do you think Parker could potentially bring that heat that could create those problems again?
You'd like to think so. You'd certainly hope so to make it an interesting fight. I mean, I think even if he beats Parker, God, how long have these negotiations dragged on for now? Do you think it's going to be any easier with Deontay Wilder?
I don't think the Wilder fight will happen.
No, I don't think so either. It'll just go on and on and on.
Mm.
Eddie Hearn will say we can sell at Wembley. Lou DiBella will say, yeah, but we'll make more money in the States.
Which fight would you... Okay, give me an order. If I said these are big Wembley fights, Parker, Wilder, Hay and Fury, give me 1 to 4, which one you'd like to see the most?
Parker, Wilder, Hay, Fury.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, Parker.
4 Parker.
In terms of the interesting other ones, I'd like to see, I think Hay would be a better fight, a more interesting fight.
Okay.
So number 3. Number 2, as it stands, without any tune-ups or anything like that, would be Tyson. And then number 1 would be Deontay.
Wilder is your most exciting fight.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, Hay, Parker.
Yeah.
So you don't rate Parker in that sort of elite mix?
I think Parker versus Hay would be a great fight. That's the fight I think I'd rather see almost as much. I think that'd be a really interesting fight.
But you kind of have Parker a bit below the sort of Wilders and Furies.
Yeah.
Well, why is that out of interest? Because that seems to be the public conception. I actually think Parker has actually done more than Wilder.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, he's beaten Huey Fury, Andy Ruiz and Cam.
Yes, that's all true. But I know you didn't score the Fury fight for Parker.
No.
The Cam fight was close, if memory serves me correct.
Very close. How did you score the Huey fight?
I think I had Huey by 1, if memory serves me correct. And the chap he beat before he fought Huey Fury, his old sparring partners.
Razvan Kajanu.
Yes, that's the one. I watched that in the morning. That was not a good fight.
Awful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, more than Wilder, but I don't think Kajanu would get through 12 rounds with Wilder like that. Parker's power seems to have left him as he's fought at a slightly higher level, in fact.
I think that would have been... I remember when David Hay fought John Ruiz.
Yeah.
And Ruiz was just stepping forward, plodding forward, getting hit with counter rights and big crosses. But imagine if Parker was fighting like that, but brought the heat as well. And you'd have a really good tear-up, I think. And I think I'd really like to see that. Although, my God, again, the negotiations would be impossible then.
Okay. Canelo Triple G.
Mm.
But just before we do that, 50 of you watching live. Not too bad considering we haven't advertised this and considering some Boxing Day and a lot of people are going to be otherwise engaged. So shout out to the 50 of you who've joined. If there's anyone who's new, please hit subscribe. Of the 50, less than half of you have hit the thumbs up. So help me out, hit the thumbs up. And we may well get a few new people joining us on Boxing Day, which would be a nice surprise. So let's go back to Canelo versus Golovkin. That looks like a fight that is going to happen in the new year. How did you score the first fight?
I gave it to Golovkin. And hands up, I'm a fan. You've criticised me on here before. It's been made very public that I'm a big fan of it. I have been for a long time now. But I thought that he won by a couple.
What, so 7-5?
I think so, yeah. 7-5. I did the whole stat down little pen and paper and went 10-9, 10-9. I can't remember what the full score was.
So you had it 7-5?
Yeah.
I had it a draw. But it's interesting. So you're a big Golovkin fan, and you gave Canelo 5 rounds.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight.
So let me ask you this. In your opinion, is Golovkin showing some signs of slowing or aging?
Yeah. But I should add a caveat. That it may not be aging, plus it may be the fact Canelo is the best person he's ever been in with.
Yeah, but then how many did you give Jacobs 5 or more rounds against him?
I think I had it. I think I gave Jacobs. That's a long time ago now. I think I gave Jacobs 4.
My point is, Golovkin looked like this kind of wrecking ball type. He had the Kell Brook fight where people suggested there were signs of age. There was the Jacobs fight, which was a close fight. There was the Canelo fight, which was a close fight. Golovkin's now in his mid-30s. What I'm getting at is, do you think going into that rematch, Canelo needs to improve? Or do you think Golovkin may start to deteriorate ever so slightly?
I think Golovkin will start to deteriorate. He's 35, if memory serves me right. So, that's natural for an elite level boxer at that age. I think it wouldn't overly shock me if Canelo wins the return match. I think if you have it somewhere like the AT&T Stadium in Texas, where there's going to be a huge amount of Canelo fans, possibly 100,000 or most of 100,000, then GGG might lose on scorecards the same way everyone fears about going to someone else's backyard. But I think, I mean, I know what you're building up to, because your next question is going to be, where would he rank against Billy Joe Saunders after he just beat Lemieux?
No, it's more who do you think's going to win the rematch?
Well, I think that Canelo will probably make the necessary improvements. I think if he goes in with more blistering hand speed and quick combinations and get out, then it's his for the winning.
You think Canelo potentially?
I think Canelo can make the adjustments. Interesting.
I think Canelo is a favourite for the rematch. I've got to admit. It's a close fight though. It is a close fight. Okay. Where does Billy Joe Saunders fit into the mix?
He's an elite level 3rd at the moment.
Do you have him ahead of like a Daniel Jacobs?
I think that's the obvious fight for him, but based on that performance, yeah.
You do? Yeah. Do you think that he could... Well, actually, let me ask you this. What's the more winnable fight for him, Canelo or Triple G?
You'd probably say on paper Triple G, but I think Triple G is a lot more nuanced than people give him credit for.
I think Canelo is probably the easier fight on paper because Canelo's quite slow-footed.
Slow-footed, but fast hands and knows to flurry and stuff.
But I think Canelo really struggles against the Laras and the Trouts, and I think Saunders brings that and more volume.
I agree. He did struggle against the Laras and the Trouts, but he's not as negative, certainly, as Lara.
Who?
Billy Joe. I mean, Lara quite literally ran at points.
Yeah, well, that's why I think Billy Joe might have a big advantage. The problem is those judges, though, isn't it? I mean, Billy Joe's not going to knock Canelo out, so what's he got to do to get a...
Yeah.
What about Golovkin?
Against
Saunders?
Billy Joe looked like a well beater when he beat Lemieux. So I'm much more interested in the fight than I was. I would be interested to see. I think that Golovkin would be more likely to catch Billy Joe than Canelo. I think the way he fought against Lemieux, where he can fight a very nuanced, disciplined jab, jab, jab fight, would be a tricky one for Billy Joe. Rather than wide swinging punches and nipping out the side of it, looking for Chris Eubank Jr.'s undefeated record in the crowd.
I can see that. The return of Tyson Fury. Excited?
Yeah.
Where do you stand on him coming back after such a long break? Do you think he can mix it with the elite again, or do you think that such inactivity, such ill health, such weight gain will prevent him?
I don't know about prevent him. It can be incredibly difficult. So we'll see in the performances. There are definitely heavyweights out there I think he beats easily. In fact, ranked heavyweights who he'll beat. But it's whether the game is up there, whether he's still up there with the elite. That performance against Vladimir was fantastic.
Let's take the Tyson from that performance. Who wins? Tyson versus Parker.
Tyson.
Tyson versus Hay.
I'd say Tyson in quite a boring unanimous decision.
Tyson versus AJ.
Difficult. difficult.
What do you think was a more impressive performance against Klitschko? Because I've always thought, I know AJ got the stoppage, but I always thought Fury. Because for me, AJ was hurt, he was down, and he could potentially have lost that fight in the middle rounds. He could have been stopped, whereas Fury was comfortable.
You and I watched that fight. I went round to your house and watched that fight. There was a moment, I can't remember who hit who, but wasn't there a moment where I think Vladimir turned Fury and then caught him with a left hook in the late rounds? Yeah, and Fury looked a bit wobbled. He actually didn't go down. But, I mean, it was a spoiler performance by Fury. It was a masterful spoiler performance, negated Vladimir's offense, whereas AJ went to fight, essentially. I think it's a different performance, different to rank. I think if Tyson pulls out that spoiling performance against Deontay or an AJ, he wins. But he's just got to watch out for the punch then.
Yeah, see, for me, Tyson's at his best. Footwork, foot speed, agility, stamina, reactions.
Yeah.
Those are all things that you need fitness, activity for. Interesting. A lot of talk about him fighting Shannon Briggs on the comeback.
Yeah.
Do you think that's obviously Briggs at 46? Could he Chisora him?
Easily he could Chisora him, but it's just people are going to sell out an arena for that. It'll be a small show. I don't think that'll be an O2 show.
No. Probably be more like a Copper Box or a Wembley Arena.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, has he signed with Frank Warren yet? He's on Box Nation.
There's nothing been confirmed on that.
Okay. But it could be an arena of that size or a venue of that size. It depends on what money Tyson Fury's asking for. Depends where he wants to be.
The problem with that fight is Briggs will want a huge payday.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Briggs will want a massive payday, and I don't know. Maybe they'll go down the pay-per-view route though. Maybe they will.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's the way to make the fight viable.
Can imagine so. While we're on the topic of Box Nation and BT, what do you make of their new starters? Specifically, I'm talking Anthony Yard.
Well, again, you and I have seen Anthony Yard at York Hall when Enzo Macronelli got knocked out, if you remember.
Yeah, I've seen him box twice, I think.
That was the second time.
I can't remember now, but yeah, we saw Anthony Yard at York Hall. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he looked good. I mean, he looked good, and he's continued to look. He's a big puncher, obviously, a very strong young man, very well built young man. I suppose I don't think he's quite. He hasn't even gone in for a British title yet, has he?
No, he fought Nikolai Suzloka, who drew for a Euro the time before, which you could say that's above British title form. Yeah.
I mean, Britain light heavyweight. I mean, I think he beats Buglioni.
Yeah.
But there are some decent little light heavyweights out there at the moment.
Do you think he can get to world title level?
I think he can be managed to world title level. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wouldn't surprise me if in a few years he goes in with slightly aging Kovalev.
He goes well in a few years. Yeah. I don't think he's been matched overly ambitiously just yet.
No, but Frank Warren likes to go the WBO route.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Dimitri Bivol, I think, will be a very bad matchup for him.
Yeah.
That's scary punching power.
What about Dubois?
Dubois. I'm obviously aware. Everyone knows the name. Everyone's seen the hype. Did Bunce call him the most powerful boxer?
Yes, since Mike Tyson.
Oh. Yeah. Again, proof is when he starts stepping up.
It's ridiculous. There's this whole thing about AJ didn't knock Dorian Darts out, but Dubois knocked Dorian Darts down. The referee stepped in and stopped. If the referee had stopped the fight before Dubois had started smashing up, yeah, it's ridiculous. But okay, cool. I'm trying to think what other major boxing topics I missed out. Lomachenko,
he's amazing.
What fights out there for him though? Because you got Mikey Garcia. You've got Gervonta Davis. These fights don't seem easy to make.
That's the thing. He's with top rank, and he might be able to go in against some Golden Boy fighters now, but he's not going to go in against Gervonta Davis. So it's going to be difficult for him. I think the thing for him to do, he's beat the two big names. People said they wanted to see him fight with Nicholas Walters, for the amazing punching power and for the skill level, and he toyed with both of them.
And he's beaten Gary Russell as well.
And he beat Gary Russell, yeah. So the thing to do in this case is if he can't get the rematch with Salido, who beat him,
I think Salido, yeah, he toyed with the try,
toyed with it, yeah. If you can't get the rematch for that, and I don't think he needs it at this point. The thing to do is just keep going up on belts. Just march through.
I don't know. Do you see him doing what he's doing to the guys at 130 at 135?
I think that's the challenge, isn't it? That's the thing.
Mm. How do you think? Who would you pick? Between him and Garcia at 135? Because I'm saying it now. I'm picking Garcia.
Garcia is very good. Well, Garcia's at 140.
But he's open to being at 135.
He's fighting for a world title. I think that's the most difficult fight. I think Linares presents a different challenge and a very good challenge. But I'd probably favour Lomachenko.
You favour Lomachenko with Linares, yeah.
I really wanted Linares versus Garcia. I thought that was such a good fight.
But again, you'd have to favour Garcia with that.
Yeah.
Final question. Crawford moving up to 147. Crawford, Furman and Spence. Quite a mix of fighters there.
Yeah.
How do you see coming out of that?
Well, Spence is with Al Heyman, isn't he?
He's with Al Heyman. I don't know.
Furman is with Al Heyman.
He is.
Garcia is with Furman. Garcia is with Spence. Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
And
Crawford.
Crawford's top rank.
The big one, yeah.
So it's not going to happen.
You don't see them squaring off?
I don't know. All right. Top Rank's just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with ESPN.
Right.
Where they come out very much on top. Al Heyman fighters fight on Showtime. And we're not going to do a split cast of Keith Furman versus Darren Crawford.
So it could be a frustrating year in terms of these matchups, you think?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Just going to be a short live stream today, guys. Obviously, Boxing Day. People to see, things to do, etc. But we wanted to, just when we have the man in the building, we wanted to get something recorded for you guys. Any other topics, any other comments before we wrap it up?
I think something to watch out for, or at least see the development, will be whether BT Sport can come in as a real heavy player. I mean, they're going to try and make Frampton their AJ, especially after De Gea lost. But, it's whether he gets the fight. So is Nonito Donaire close to being signed?
I think it has been signed.
Has it been signed in Belfast? That would be a good fight. But if Frampton loses another one, then that's a lot of investment sunk.
Tough to come back from.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in and spending some of their Boxing Day with us. If you're watching this after it's gone up on the channel, if you're coming back to this at a later date, please hit the thumbs up button. You can also press subscribe to support and hopefully check out some of my other stuff as well. As always, many, many, many thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support, and I hope everyone's had a good Christmas break. On that note, I'll say goodbye, and we'll be back soon. Cheers.
Cheers.